Aria's heart pounded like a drum in her chest as she stood in the kitchen. The words she'd rehearsed 100 times finally spilling out. Mom, I'm in love with Scarlett. She's not just a friend, she's everything to me. The confession hung in the air, heavy and irreversible, and in that split second Aria saw her mother's face crumple. Not with anger, but with a flicker of something deeper, something haunted that made Aria's stomach twist in unexpected dread. Evelyn, Aria's mother, froze with the coffee mug halfway to her lips, her knuckles whitening around the handle. She set it down slowly, her eyes darting away as if searching for an escape in the familiar patterns of the tiled floor. Inside, Evelyn's mind raced back decades, to a time when she'd stood in a similar kitchen, her own heart on the line, only to shove it all down into a box she swore she'd never open. Why now? Why her daughter? The irony burned like acid, her own hidden truth threatening to unravel everything she'd built. Aria watched her mother's silence stretch, the tension coiling tighter. She had expected yelling, maybe tears, or even the cold shoulder that so many stories warned about. But this quiet, this averted gaze, it felt worse, like a wall she couldn't scale. Mom, say something, Aria pleaded, her voice cracking. In her head, doubts swirled. Had she just destroyed their relationship? Was loving Scarlett worth this potential fracture? Scarlett had urged her to be honest, to live authentically. But now, facing the fallout, Aria wondered if authenticity was just a pretty word for selfishness. Evelyn finally looked up, her eyes misty but resolute. Aria, sit down. We need to talk. Her voice was steady, but inside a storm raged. She thought of Lydia, the woman from her college days, the one who'd made her feel alive in ways no man ever had. They'd shared stolen kisses in dorm rooms, whispered promises under starry skies, but society back then, hell, even now, didn't make room for that. Evelyn had chosen safety. Marriage to Aria's father, a stable life, burying her desires so deep they almost felt like someone else's memory. Now her daughter was forcing her to confront it all. As Aria pulled out a chair, her mind flashed to Scarlett. They'd met at a bookstore in downtown Seattle, bonding over shared tastes in poetry and quiet rebellion. Scarlett, with her sharp wit and unapologetic spirit, had drawn Aria out of her shell. Their first date was a walk along the Puget Sound, hands brushing accidentally until they weren't accidental anymore. But Aria had kept it secret from her family, fearing the judgment, the questions. Coming out to her mom was supposed to be liberating, but now it felt like stepping into a minefield. Evelyn took a deep breath. I understand more than you think, honey. The words slipped out before she could stop them, and regret hit her instantly. Should she reveal it? Would it help Aria or just complicate things further? In her youth, Evelyn had faced the same crossroads. Lydia had begged her to run away together, to defy their families, but Evelyn had chosen the path of least resistance, marrying Tom, Aria's father, because it was expected, because it was safe. The marriage had been companionable, but never passionate. Tom had passed 5 years ago, leaving Evelyn with regrets that whispered in the quiet nights. Aria leaned forward, sensing the shift. What do you mean you understand? Her pulse quickened. This wasn't the reaction she'd braced for. Inside, hope flickered. Maybe her mom would accept her, maybe this wouldn't end in heartbreak. But there was something in Evelyn's eyes, a shadow that suggested more pain ahead. I had feelings like that once, Evelyn admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. The confession felt like ripping off a scab, exposing raw flesh beneath. She thought of the letters from Lydia she'd burned, the nights she'd cried herself to sleep, convincing herself it was just a phase. Society had told her it was wrong. Her parents had drilled in the importance of a normal life. Now, seeing Aria's earnest face, Evelyn wondered if she'd made the right choice, or if she'd doomed her daughter to the same internal war. Aria's world tilted. You? But Dad, you were married for 30 years. Shock coursed through her, mixing with confusion. Had her entire childhood been built on a lie? She pictured family dinners, holidays, all those moments that seemed so genuine. Was it all a facade? The thought made her chest ache, not just for herself, but for her mother, who must have carried this burden alone. Evelyn nodded, tears welling. It was a different time, Aria. Choices weren't as free as they are now. But even as she said it, doubt gnawed at her. Was it really the time or her own cowardice? She'd seen friends ostracized, careers ruined over whispers of deviance. Protecting herself had meant sacrificing her truth, but at what cost to her soul? As the conversation deepened, Aria felt a surge of empathy battling her betrayal. Scarlett had always said honesty was the key to freedom, but here was proof that sometimes honesty came with chains. "Tell me about her," Aria said softly, reaching for her mother's hand. The touch was tentative, a bridge over the chasm opening between them. Evelyn hesitated, then began, her voice trembling. "Her name was Lydia. We met in college." The story poured out, a dam breaking after years of pressure. She described the stolen moments, the electric connection, the ultimate goodbye when Evelyn chose conformity over love. Inside, Evelyn wrestled with guilt. Had she set a poor example for Aria? By hiding, had she taught her daughter to fear her own heart? Aria listened, her mind reeling. This revelation changed everything. Scarlett would be thrilled, or would she? Scarlett, who pushed for openness, might see Evelyn's story as a cautionary tale. But for Aria it was a mirror, reflecting her own fears. What if she ended up like her mom, regretting a life half-lived? The afternoon wore on, the kitchen filling with the weight of shared secrets. Evelyn finished her tale, exhausted but strangely lighter. "I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did," she said. "But what were those mistakes? Hiding, or loving in the first place?" Aria squeezed her hand. "I won't, Mom. But I need you to support me." The demand hung there, a test of their bond. Inside, Aria thought, if she can't accept me now, knowing her own past, then what hope is there? Evelyn met her gaze. "I will try. For you." But doubt lingered. Could she really embrace what she denied in herself? As evening fell, Aria texted Scarlett. "Told Mom. It's complicated." The reply came quick. "Complicated how?" Aria stared at the screen, wondering how to explain that her coming out had unearthed a family skeleton. Scarlett paced her small apartment in Capitol Hill, phone clutched tightly as she reread Aria's message. Complicated? That word sent alarm bells ringing. She'd encouraged Aria to come out, believing it would free her from the shadows of secrecy. But now doubt crept in. Had she pushed too hard? Scarlett thought back to her own coming out at 18, the slammed doors and disownment from her conservative parents. It had hardened her, made her fierce in her authenticity. But she knew not everyone was ready for that battle. Aria arrived an hour later, her face pale and drawn. "You won't believe what happened," she said, collapsing onto the couch. Scarlett sat beside her, hand on her knee, a silent invitation to spill. Inside, Scarlett's mind raced. What if Aria's mom rejected her? Would Aria choose family over their love? The thought stung, a reminder of her own losses. As Aria recounted the conversation, Scarlett's eyes widened. "Your mom? Had a girlfriend in college." Shock mixed with a strange vindication. "See? It's in the blood. She can't judge you now." But even as she said it, Scarlett felt a twinge of unease. Evelyn's story sounded too familiar. Suppression leading to regret. What if Aria saw it as a warning sign? Aria shook her head. "It's not that simple. She chose Dad, chose a straight life. What if she thinks I should do the same?" The question voiced her deepest fear. That love like theirs was doomed to pain. In her mind, images flashed, weddings she'd never have, grandchildren her mom might mourn. Society still whispered that heterosexual was easier, safer. Scarlett pulled her close. "She chose wrong, Aria. We don't have to." Her voice was firm, but inside, insecurity gnawed. Scarlett had built her life around pride parades and advocacy groups, but loving Aria meant navigating uncharted waters. Aria came from a suburban world where fitting in mattered more than standing out. The next day, Aria returned home to find Evelyn waiting with a photo album. "I thought you should see this," Evelyn said, opening to faded pictures of her and Lydia, arms linked, smiles bright. Aria traced the images, seeing echoes of herself in her mother's young face. "Why didn't you fight for her?" Aria asked, voice laced with accusation. Evelyn sighed. "Fear. My parents threatened to cut me off. Society saw us as sinners." She paused, inner turmoil bubbling. Had she been weak? Or pragmatic? Now, facing Aria, she wondered if her silence had perpetuated the cycle. Aria felt anger rise. "And now? You accept me, but what about the years I hid because I thought you'd hate it?" The confrontation escalated, voices rising. Evelyn defended her choices. I gave you a stable home. But Aria shot back. At what cost to your happiness? To mine. Scarlett, meanwhile, met with her friend group at a local cafe venting. Aria's mom has this whole hidden past. It's messing with her head. Her friends nodded sympathetically, but one said, maybe it's good. Forces growth. Scarlett agreed outwardly, but inside she worried. Aria might pull away to protect her family ties. Back home the argument peaked. Evelyn admitted, I regret it every day. Tears flowed, a catharsis long overdue. Aria softened, hugging her mom. Then help me not regret. But the seed of doubt was planted. What if loving Scarlett meant losing this fragile piece? Days blurred into tension. Aria juggled work at the marketing firm, her mind elsewhere. Scarlett noticed the distance, small things like unanswered texts. What's going on? Scarlett asked one night over dinner. Aria hesitated. Mom's story scares me. What if we end up like that? Vulnerability cracked her voice. Scarlett's heart ached. She wanted to promise forever, but life had taught her promises break. We won't, Scarlett said, but doubt flickered. Her own past relationships had crumbled under pressure. One ex left for a normal life. Was Aria strong enough? Evelyn, alone, rifled through old letters she'd kept hidden. One from Lydia. Why choose fear over us? Reading it, Evelyn felt fresh pain. Should she reach out to Lydia now? Or let the past stay buried? The thought terrified her, but Aria's bravery inspired a spark. Aria confided in a coworker, Jamie, who was openly gay. Your mom's hypocrisy is tough, but use it to bond. Jamie's words lingered, but Aria wondered if bonding meant compromising her relationship with Scarlett. Scarlett planned a surprise date, a picnic in the park, to reconnect. As they sat under the sun, Scarlett said, I love you no matter what. Aria smiled, but inside conflict raged. Love or family harmony? The evening ended with a kiss, tender but tentative. Scarlett sensed the shift. Don't let her story define us. Aria nodded, but questions swirled. Was she betraying her mom by pursuing this? Or betraying herself by hesitating? Evelyn called Aria that night. I've been thinking. Maybe I can meet Scarlett. The offer stunned Aria. A step toward acceptance? Or a test? Aria agreed, excitement mingling with dread. This meeting could heal or shatter. As the day approached, tensions mounted. Scarlett prepped, nervous. What if she hates me? Aria reassured her, but inwardly she feared the same. Evelyn prepared tea, her mind a whirlwind. Meeting Scarlett meant facing her own denied desires. Was she ready? The doorbell rang, echoing through the house like a judgment call. Evelyn smoothed her blouse, steeling herself as Aria opened the door to Scarlett. There she stood, poised and vibrant, a living reminder of what Evelyn had forsaken. Scarlett extended a hand, smile genuine but guarded. Mrs. Thompson, it's nice to meet you. Inside, Scarlett thought, this woman holds our future. Don't screw it up. Evelyn shook her hand, feeling a jolt at the warmth. Call me Evelyn. Come in. As they settled in the living room, awkward silence descended. Aria fidgeted, her mind screaming, please let this go well. She dreamed of this integration, but now it felt like walking a tightrope over flames. Small talk ensued, weather, jobs, but Evelyn's eyes kept drifting to how Aria looked at Scarlett, the subtle touches that spoke volumes. It mirrored her and Lydia so eerily that envy and sorrow twisted in her gut. Why had she denied herself this joy? The question haunted her, fueling a quiet resentment toward her past self. Scarlett broke the ice. Aria told me about Lydia. That must have been hard. Bold, perhaps too bold, but Scarlett believed in confronting truths.
Evelyn stiffened, surprise flashing.
She did? Well, yes, it was. Inside, Evelyn battled irritation. This stranger probing her wounds, but also admiration for Scarlett's directness. Aria shot Scarlett a warning glance, but the conversation plunged deeper. Evelyn shared snippets. The societal pressure, the family expectations. In the 80s, it wasn't like today. Coming out meant losing everything. Her voice cracked, revealing cracks in her armor. Scarlett nodded empathetically. I get that. My parents disowned me. The admission hung heavy, a shared scar. Aria watched, hope blooming. Maybe they could connect over pain. But then Evelyn asked, "Do you think it's worth it? The risk?" The question was loaded, aimed at Scarlett but piercing Aria. Scarlett met her gaze. "Absolutely. Hiding kills the soul." Evelyn flinched, hearing her own regrets echoed. The discussion heated. Evelyn defended her choices. "Stability matters. I gave Aria a normal childhood." Scarlett countered. "Normal? Or repressed?" Aria intervened. "Stop. This isn't a debate." But inside she agreed with Scarlett, yet pitted her mom. As tea cooled, Evelyn's facade cracked further. "Seeing you too. It makes me wonder what if." Vulnerability shone through. A mother's confession. Scarlett softened. "You can still choose differently now." Aria's heart swelled but doubt lingered. What if this stirred too much? Later, alone with Scarlett, Aria said, "That was intense." Scarlett agreed but added, "She needs to face it." Aria, worried, was pushing Evelyn wise? Days later, Evelyn searched online for Lydia, heart racing. A Facebook profile popped up, Lydia, married to a woman happy in photos. Jealousy surged. Lydia had chosen bravery. Evelyn messaged her. "It's been years. Can we talk?" The send button felt like leaping off a cliff. Aria noticed her mom's distraction at dinner. "What's wrong?" Evelyn confessed the message. Aria's eyes widened. "Mom, that's huge." But inside, fear gripped her. What if reconnecting upended their lives? Lydia replied quickly, agreeing to a call. Evelyn's hands shook as she dialed. "Evelyn? After all this time." Lydia's voice was warm, forgiving. They talked for hours, reminiscing, apologizing. Lydia said, "I never stopped loving you, but I moved on." Evelyn wept, releasing decades of guilt. The call ended with Evelyn feeling reborn, but conflicted. Should she pursue this? What about her identity now? Aria shared the news with Scarlett, who cheered. "See? Truth sets free." But Aria sensed undercurrents. Evelyn's awakening might complicate things. At work, Aria faced her own battle. A colleague made a snide remark about those pride events clogging traffic. Aria snapped back, defending, but later regretted the attention. Society's whispers amplified her insecurities. Scarlett organized a double date with friends, but Aria hesitated. What if Mom finds out? Scarlett frowned. "You're out now. Live it." The push-pull strained them. Evelyn met Lydia in person at a cafe, nerves frayed. Lydia, graceful with age, hugged her. "Why did you leave?" Lydia asked gently. Evelyn explained her fears. Lydia nodded. "I get it, but it hurt." They parted as friends, but Evelyn's heart stirred, old flames flickering. Back home, Evelyn told Aria. It was closure. But Aria saw the spark. "Mom, are you okay?" Evelyn smiled sadly. "For the first time, maybe." Scarlett grew impatient with Aria's caution. "We can't hide forever." An argument brewed. "I'm not hiding. I'm protecting."
Aria yelled.
Scarlett retorted. "From what?" "Your mom's approval." The fight ended in tears, Scarlett storming out. Aria collapsed, questioning everything. Was love worth this chaos? Evelyn comforted her. "Don't let fear win like I did." But her words rang hollow. Her own rekindled feelings contradicted them. As nights passed, reconciliation loomed. Scarlett texted, "Miss you." Aria replied, but wounds lingered. Reconciliation came slowly, like dawn after a storm. Aria met Scarlett at their favorite bookstore, the air thick with unspoken regrets. "I'm sorry," Aria said first, eyes downcast. Scarlett pulled her into a hug. "Me too. I pushed too hard." Inside, Scarlett vowed to be patient, but fear whispered, "What if Aria chooses safety over us?" They talked for hours, dissecting the fight. Aria admitted, "Mom's story makes me scared of losing everything." Scarlett shared her own scars. "Disownment taught me resilience, but it hurts seeing you waver." The vulnerability bridged the gap, but cracks remained. Evelyn, meanwhile, grappled with her awakening. Lydia's re-entry sparked daily texts, innocent but charged. Evelyn questioned her marriage to Tom. Was it love or convenience? Guilt over betraying his memory weighed heavy. Should she explore this now at 55? Aria noticed Evelyn's glow. "You're talking to Lydia a lot." Evelyn blushed. "Just friends." But Aria saw through it. a mix of joy and unease. What if this led to scandal in their tight-knit community? At a family gathering, Aunt Clara remarked on Aria's single status.
Aria bristled.
I'm seeing someone, Clara probed. A nice boy. Aria hesitated then. A woman. Scarlet. Gasps rippled. Clara's face soured. That's unexpected, Evelyn interjected. And wonderful. Her defense stunned Aria, a turning point. But later Clara pulled Evelyn aside. You're okay with this? Think of the family name. Evelyn snapped. The family name means nothing if it costs happiness. Inside, pride swelled. She was finally standing up. The backlash hit. Relatives whispered, some distanced. Aria felt the sting at work too. A promotion overlooked, subtle biases emerging. Is this worth it? She confided in Scarlett. Scarlett held her. Yes, because we're real. But doubt crept into Scarlett's mind. What if Aria buckled? Evelyn faced her own confrontation. At church, the pastor preached against unnatural lifestyles. Evelyn stood, voice steady. Love is love. She walked out, head high but trembling inside. Had she just alienated her community? Lydia encouraged her via call. You're brave now. Evelyn laughed bitterly. Too late. Lydia. Never. Aria and Scarlett attended a pride event, hand in hand. Aria's heart raced at the visibility, but empowerment surged. Yet, spotting judgmental stares, old fears resurfaced. Back home, Evelyn shared her church exit. Aria hugged her. Proud of you. But tension brewed. Evelyn's evolving identity clashed with Aria's stability needs. Scarlett suggested therapy for Aria. To process this, Aria agreed, sessions unveiling deep-seated fears of abandonment. Evelyn explored too, joining a support group for late bloomers. Stories mirrored hers, easing isolation but stirring desires. A crisis hit when Clara outed Evelyn's past to relatives, twisting it. Calls flooded. Is it true? Evelyn denied at first, then admitted. Yes, and I'm not ashamed. Aria supported her but resentment built. Why drag the family through this? An argument erupted. Your coming out is messing up my life, Evelyn retorted. Your coming out started this. Hurt words flew, bonds straining. Scarlett mediated. You're both hurting. Talk. Reconciliation followed tears. Evelyn. I hid to protect you. Aria. But it taught me to hide too. Healing began but scars lingered. Scarlett proposed a trip to escape. Aria agreed, but Evelyn's invitation to join surprised them. The trip to the coast was tense at first. Waves crashed as truths emerged. Evelyn confessed lingering feelings for Lydia.
Aria processed, accepting.
Scarlett bonded with Evelyn over shared experiences. A fragile alliance formed. But upon return, reality bit. Scarlett's job offered a move to New York. Come with me, she asked Aria.
Aria froze.
Leave her mom now? The choice tore her. Evelyn urged. Go. Live your truth. But inside, Evelyn feared loneliness. Aria agonized. Family or love? The decision loomed, high stakes. Nights of soul-searching followed. Aria weighed pros. Adventure with Scarlett. Cons. Abandoning Evelyn mid-awakening. Scarlett pressured gently. This could be our fresh start. Evelyn dated Lydia casually, finding joy but guilt. The climax neared. Aria's choice would define them all. Aria stood at the airport, suitcase in hand, heart splintered. Scarlett waited by the gate, eyes hopeful. You sure? Scarlett asked. Aria nodded, but inside turmoil raged. Leaving Evelyn felt like betrayal. Yet staying meant sacrificing her future. The plane ticket to New York symbolized freedom, but at what price? Flashback to the night before. Evelyn at the dinner table, eyes red. Go, Aria. Don't repeat my mistakes. But her voice wavered, revealing fear of solitude. Aria hugged her tightly. I'll visit often. Promises felt hollow against the distance. On the flight, Aria's mind replayed the journey. From that kitchen confession to this leap, every step had cost something. Relationships strained, secrets unearthed, identities reshaped. Scarlett held her hand. We're building our life. Aria smiled weakly, wondering if the foundation was solid. In New York, they settled into a cozy apartment. the city buzz energizing yet overwhelming. Scarlett thrived at her new job, but Aria struggled, missing home. Calls to Evelyn revealed her mom's budding romance with Lydia. A double date even. Jealousy pricked. Aria had sparked this yet felt sidelined. Months passed, challenges mounting. Aria's job search dragged. Isolation crept in. Scarlett's late nights fueled arguments. "You're never here." Scarlett shot back. "I'm building for us." The strain echoed Evelyn's warnings. Evelyn visited, seeing the tension. "Talk it out," she advised. Over wine, truths emerged. Aria admitted, "I feel lost." Scarlett confessed, "I'm scared you'll regret this." Evelyn shared her own regrets, bridging generations. The visit healed, but departure reopened wounds. Back home, Evelyn proposed to Lydia. A quiet ceremony. Aria flew back, standing as witness, tears of joy mixing with sorrow. Her mom's happiness highlighted her own unrest. Aria confronted Scarlett upon return. "Is this working?" The question hung a potential end. Scarlett paused then. "We can make it." They recommitted, therapy helping navigate. But society intruded. A family reunion shunned them, Clara's influence strong. Aria felt the rejection keenly, questioning her choices. Evelyn stood firm, cutting toxic ties. "Family is who loves you." Her strength inspired Aria. Yet, in quiet moments, Aria pondered the costs. Fractured bonds, emotional scars. Was authenticity worth the pain? Years later, Aria and Scarlett married in a small ceremony, Evelyn beaming. Lydia by her side, the circle complete. But reflections lingered. Had hiding been kinder? The story closed with growth, but not without loss. Relatives drifted, communities shifted. Each woman paid a price for truth. In the end, as Aria looked back, she wondered, had they chosen right? Was burying one's true self ever justifiable to preserve family peace? Or does authenticity always demand its sacrifices no matter the cost? Aria stood at the airport, suitcase gripped tightly, her heart a battlefield of conflicting loyalties. Scarlett waited by the security line, her expression a mix of excitement and apprehension. "You ready for this adventure?" Scarlett asked, trying to infuse lightness. Aria forced a smile, but inside, the weight of leaving Evelyn pressed down like an anchor, pulling against the promise of a new life. This choice, to follow love across the country, felt both liberating and treacherous, a gamble on happiness amid the ruins of what she'd known. The night before replayed in her mind. Evelyn in the dimly lit living room, her face etched with lines of worry and pride. "Aria, I've spent too long in shadows. Don't let my past chain you." But Evelyn's eyes betrayed her. A mother's silent plea not to be left alone in her newfound freedom. Aria had pulled her into an embrace, whispering, "I love you, Mom. This isn't goodbye." Yet, as she packed, guilt gnawed. Was she abandoning the woman who'd just begun to live authentically, all because of her own pursuit? On the plane, turbulence mirrored Aria's inner storm. Scarlett squeezed her hand. "Think of it, new city, new us." Aria nodded, but doubts whispered. What if the distance eroded their bond? What if New York's chaos swallowed their love? She thought of Evelyn's story, the decades of suppression, and vowed not to repeat it. But vows were easy in theory. Reality was messy. Settling in Brooklyn, the apartment felt foreign, its echoes amplifying Aria's homesickness. Scarlett dove into her marketing role, networking late into nights, while Aria job hunted, rejections piling up. "It's temporary," Scarlett assured, but Aria's frustration built. "You promised we'd face this together," Aria said one evening, voice sharp. Scarlett sighed. "I am. But we need stability." The argument escalated, old insecurities surfacing. Scarlett's fear of abandonment, Aria's of regret. Calls to Evelyn became lifelines. "How's Lydia?" Aria asked. Evelyn's voice brightened. "We're planning a trip. She's good for me." Hearing her mom's joy stung. Aria had ignited this change, yet felt excluded from it. "I'm happy for you," Aria said, meaning it, but envy lurked. Months in, a breakthrough. Aria landed a position at a nonprofit advocating for LGBTQ rights. Purpose reignited her. But the role demanded vulnerability, sharing her story in workshops. Reliving the family drama exhausted her, yet empowered. Evelyn visited, the reunion bittersweet. Walking Central Park, Evelyn observed the tension. You two need to communicate more. That night over dinner barriers crumbled. Aria confessed. I miss home, miss you. Scarlett admitted. I'm terrified you'll leave. Evelyn shared. I almost lost Lydia again to fear. Don't. The honesty mended fissures, Evelyn's wisdom a balm. Departure amplified Aria's longing, but strengthened resolve. Back in Seattle, Evelyn proposed to Lydia, an intimate gathering. Aria attended, witnessing vows that echoed her hopes. I do, Evelyn said, eyes locked on Lydia, a testament to second chances. Returning to New York, Aria confronted Scarlett. We almost lost this. They recommitted, therapy sessions unraveling knots, societal pressures, family expectations. But trials persisted. A promotion for Scarlett meant more travel. Aria felt sidelined. Society's barbs came via news, anti-LGBT bills, reminding them safety was illusory. At a family event via video, Clara's disdain surfaced. Still with that lifestyle? Aria cut the call, heart heavy. Evelyn later reported severing ties with toxic kin. True family supports. Time healed, scars fading. Aria and Scarlett wed in a rooftop ceremony. Evelyn and Lydia present. Toasts to resilience. Laughter mingled with tears, a culmination of battles fought. Reflecting, Aria saw the toll. Lost connections, emotional bruises. Yet, growth emerged, stronger bonds, authentic lives. In quiet moments, she pondered the journey's worth. Was suppressing one's identity to maintain family harmony ever the right choice? Or does the pursuit of truth inevitably require painful sacrifices that ultimately lead to greater fulfillment?